Hey guys, Gus here, and welcome to part 2 on my Battletech review. And this time I'm going to be going through the Battletech main rulebook, Total Warfare. Yeehaw! So, I hope you enjoyed part 1. In this one I'll be exclusively focusing on the main rulebook. And this is made by... well, this one's actually made by WizKids. I thought it was Catalyst. Anyway, I think it's printed by Catalyst. So like I said before, this is a compilation of like 2 decades of Battletech stuff, essentially, okay? And I'm going to say the same thing that I said with the introductory box set. If you're a wargamer, you need to own this, right? The value for money with this is just, the amount of stuff that's in this book is freaking unbelievable. They've crammed so much in here, it's great. So, right, anyway, so in this rulebook, you've got, from the get-go, you've got an introduction, you've got what Battletech is, all the components you need to play, you've got how to play the game. It goes through the basics, okay, and it breaks all the phases down, just like in the introductory box set, okay, so it goes through the basics at the start of this book, and it goes through, then it starts to go into more detail with stuff. So, like for example, I mean, if you watch the introductory box set video, movements seem quite simple, right? What they do in this is they go through the basic movement, and they go through things like level change, so going up and down terrain, what you do if you fall over, if you get shot and your mech gets shot over, standing back up again, jumping, jump jets, then you've got all the movement with like infantry, tanks, aircraft, blah 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 blah. So it goes through loads, like each section is freaking huge, like you've got everything. Bridge movement, side slipping. I didn't even know I've been playing this game and I didn't even know Battlemech could do that. So yeah, so sorry. Let me just go through the start again. So right at the start, they give you like standard versus advanced rules. Okay, fine. You naturally start on standard because the learning curve can be quite steep with this game. So yeah, they go through everything like where to get miniatures from. That's a nice touch. Like what websites to get the miniatures from, what websites you should go on to get like all the source books and technical readouts for the different battle mechs. That's nice. I like that. That's good. Okay. Yeah, they go through all the books that you can get, and in between each section they give you like a little bit of a story, like a fluff, and they give you like all the background of the game and stuff. They give you the inner sphere. They give you like a breakdown of all the houses and the sub houses and the clans. Freaking clans. And then they go into the units. So like you've got battle mechs, like I said, which are the standard sort of fighting machine in Battletech, and you've got like tanks, infantry, all that sort of stuff. You've got a lot of stuff. Okay, so battle mechs are broken down into weight classes. You've got like assault, which is the heaviest. Then it goes down heavies. Then you've got mediums, and you've got lights. Okay, and then you've got things like your tanks. You've got what's called proto-mechs. Now, in this game you get like battle armour. So you get infantrymen inside like, they're probably like 10-foot tall suits. They're not like close to your body. So the battle armour, they're quite big. Then you've got what's called proto-mechs. Okay, a proto-mech is like in between a mech. Okay, so they're like half the size. Okay, it's just like half mech really. So you've got those as well. So you've got the battle armour, which is infantrymen inside, big fighting suits. Then you've got infantry themselves. You've got all the transports for infantry. You've got... There's shitloads. There's like wheeled vehicles, tracked vehicles, submarines, mechanized infantry, battle armor. They've got crap loads here. They even go into like civilian stuff, like hover vehicles, tracked support vehicles. It's almost too much. They've got so much stuff in here. But that's the thing with this book, is when you buy it, you get. It's like, this is like an endless tome for Battletech wargaming. It just. You wouldn't exhaust this in your lifetime, and this is just the first rulebook. Okay, so yeah, so there we go. So they run through all the record sheets, because you've got different record sheets. So you've got record sheets for mechs, you've got different ones for infantry. So like your infantry ones, I don't know if you can make that out there. It's probably a bit dark. Yeah, like I'll show you later. They've got a bigger one. So they've got different record sheets, which they've got all of those in here. And they go through all the different kinds of terrain. They go through military organisation. So when I mentioned before about the lance, the standard fighting formation with the inner sphere troops, 4 battle mechs, they go through all of that. platoons and squads and how to organise your stuff. then they go into the actual rules proper. So the sequence of play, and they break all of that down. They've got average skills table. So like, for example, when you speak about the clan, they're more skilled. Okay, so their mech warrior pilots are better than Innisphere. However, it comes at a trade-off, because their martial prowess is with battle mechs. So with things like a tank crew and infantry, they're not as good. Okay, so the skills are a bit lower, whereas your Innisphere is more balanced. So you've got like a skills table. Consciousness roll, so like because your pilot can fall unconscious if you take lots of damage because your pilot's getting rattled around in the cockpit and getting the shit shaken out of him, he can go unconscious. And obviously if your pilot's unconscious, your mech's just a piece of metal standing on the field. So they go through all the ground movement. There's a good example of battle armor actually. So this is a clan force. So hope you can make that out there. So that there. So that's battle armor. Okay, you've got like your hex bases with battle armor on them. So so they go through all of that, all the movements. And the cool thing with this as well is they actually go through converting it to a traditional war game. So if you don't want to play it on a hex grid, because you can buy like felt, it's got the hex grid on it. So and you use 3D terrain. So you play it on like a 6x4 board. With a printed felt matting, so it's like green felt with just the outlines of hexes on and your 3D stuff. If you don't want to do it with the hexes, you can play it as a normal war game. Like you don't have to have the hexes, and they give you all the rules in here to convert it, like how to do it. You know what I mean? Like if you want to play it as a war game, play it as a war game, and they tell you how to do it. Great. All the movement costs, like moving through water and stuff, obviously is going to cost you more movement. Yeah, and they go through stacking. I'm not going to go into that because we're too complicated. Yeah, so they've got all different moving on different terrains. So like moving on streets is more hazardous for battle mechs because naturally a street to a 100-ton, 30-foot walker is a more slick surface than ground. You don't get as much traction, so they can slip and fall over on streets. So it's quite hazardous, and they got all the different surfaces like jumping on top of buildings, demolishing buildings, freaking rubble. Forests, everything. They got everything you can think of. They got for the terrain, collisions as well. So if your mech is running, they got like, if you take, because you remember I mentioned like you got like piloting skill rolls and gunnery skill rolls. Your mech pilots 2 skills, right? So if you fail, like if you're running somewhere and you've got to take a PSR, a piloting skill roll, to stop your mech from falling over. If you're going too fast, sometimes your mech can fall over and skid and like hit into other stuff and do damage to itself and other stuff. So it's pretty realistic. It's almost like really Battletech is a simulation game. It's like an armoured combat simulation game. That's really what it is at its core. Okay. So yeah, they got all of that in here. They go into falling, facing after falling, getting back up again, because that's a big thing in this game. Like if your mechs get shot over, or your pilot goes unconscious and your mech just piles in and like falls over, it's like a big thing. Because it's really easy just to walk up and go, "Fuck you!" and pop a cab in their ass. So here we go, right? So they've gone through everything with land battles. This is the core rulebook. We're not even getting any further now. And already in this, they've got aerospace movement. If you want to do space combat, check this shit out, right? They got space combat in the core rulebook. You can have like, you know, and then they got like these examples of the diagrams. Like if you're playing close to planets. So if you imagine the planet is there, and you're flying off the planet, they've actually got, here we go. So atmosphere. So you're fighting off the side of the planet, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So the gravity will affect you, and the atmosphere will affect you when you're having these battles in space. So they got that as well. So space movement essentially. Then they've got atmosphere movement. So like when you're moving your aircraft in the game. So if you have your Lance or whatever, and you've got like aircraft, which obviously you can buy all the stuff. How to move your aircraft. And you can have like different altitude bands, so your aircraft can fly higher or lower in the game, and that will affect the way you fly, and doing like strafing runs and all that sort of stuff. And then you've got like, yes, when stuff starts to go wrong with aircraft, woo! So failed the braking maneuver. So you try to stop your aircraft and turn or something, and it didn't happen. Yeah, game over, buddy. See you later, flyboy. So they got all that in here. Dropships as well. So huge, gargantuan dropships that carry all the battle mechs and stuff. They've got rules for them. I don't even think you have to convert them. You can't buy those. They're too big. Yeah, so more aerospace movement. Then they get into the combat section. Okay, so this is where the shit gets real. Okay, so they got like, they go through combat for everything. Again, they've gone through movement for everything. They go through combat for everything. And the cool thing in this is like, if you can think about it, like in terms of the attack that you think a mech might be able to do, you can do it. Like you can shoulder barge people, you can punch people. 100-ton fighting machines punching somebody else in the frickin' face. I mean, come on, that's where it's at, right? You know, fucking axes. A 30-foot tall machine with a big fucking axe. You know, what more is there? What do you want? You know what I mean? Like, what? Yeah, you can do anything. You know, yeah, intervening terrain, so go through all the cover stuff. Water hexes, because you can submerge your mechs. Not only do you just walk through water, you can go underwater and go, you can't see me, fuck you, and then come up and shoulder barge them, or axe them, or shoot them in the face with a cannon. You know, nut punt them. Yeah, you know, it's great. The amount of stuff is okay. So they go through firing arcs. This is something that I didn't go through in the introductory video, and it's really easy. So as I alluded to before, if you look at a hex base, so that's a little tank. Yeah, I'm a tank. Okay, so if you look at his little hex base, okay, so say he's going, we'll look at him from below, it'll make it easier. Okay, so he's going that way. That way is forwards. So line of sight's easy. If you look at the rear two 45-degree sides, that's your front arc. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So obviously when he turns, that arc will change. It's that easy. Rear is obviously that way, front is that way, side arcs, and then his own line of sight. Really easy. So they go through line of sight, and the different arcs. So when you get shot at, your hit location changes. You don't just use the same hit location, because you get shot at from the right hand side. Obviously, it's not going to hit your left arm, is it? You know, so your hit location changes. They got all that in here. And really, this rulebook is an exercise in memory. Okay, if you want to go, it's scalable. That's the thing. You can go very basic, and as you get used to the game, you get more and more advanced. And there's so many more advanced rules. It's essentially like each session, and this is the way that I did it, is each session you add in another advanced rule. So you start off with the really basic stuff, and you have a fight. Yeah, fine. Then each session you add in an advanced rule. So like this one we're going to try out the close combat rules, and this one we're going to try this, and this one we're going to try that. And eventually over a number of sessions you learn all these really freaking cool rules. So after like a couple of games, you can do so much. Like, you really can. Underwater movement. Underwater fights with axes underwater. Man, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a mech. I'm gonna build a mech, because you can build mechs in this game from scratch. I'm gonna give a fucking trident. I'm gonna trident another mech underwater. 100-ton, 30-foot tall, trident wielding machine. Yeah, there we go, right? I'm gonna throw a trident at a city. Throw that trident to sea. That's right. You're gonna get that trident. Okay, so yeah, so they got all the hit rolls, the attack modifiers, all that stuff. They got cluster hit tables, because when you fire missiles and when you fire cluster munitions, because you can get cluster munitions for various weapons, you've got cluster hits table. You're going to roll for each like little missile. They fire in groups, so you've got like cluster hit tables. All your attack modifiers, which is on your little summary sheet anyway, so you need to worry about that. Recording damage, yeah, fine. Critical damage, ammunition. Oh, you don't be shot in that, because it goes boom. Look at that. Look. Now that is a penis extension. That is a gigantic gun arm. And he's got a sword in his other hand. Yeah! No, it's a mace. Yes, even better. I'm gonna mace you good. Okay. I'm getting carried away. I'm gonna mace you good. So, okay, so then they got like destroying a unit. What happens? Because some shit can explode and do damage to other things around it. Other weapons and equipment. You got all the stuff you can add on your mechs. Like you've got anti-battle armor pods. So like if the enemy's got battle armor troops that are trying to like latch onto your mech and cut through the hole and kill your pilots, you got like freaking claymores strapped to the outside of your mech. Get some! Yes! Woo! Artemis, IVFCS. Add +2 to the dark. Okay, so this helps for like missiles, so it helps your missiles lock on. Anti-personnel pods. No, that's gonna sting. So that is like really like claymores. Bridge layers. C3 communications networks between your mechs. It's freaking cool, okay? Chainsaw! I'm gonna have a chainsaw! Yes! You have chainsaws! Huge chainsaws. It's so much. It's brilliant. So this all ties in, right? You'll see where I'm going with this, and I'm getting really carried away. I'll try and calm myself down. So because you can, in this game, you got all the breakdown of all your stuff, right? So you've got like tech readouts, which have variations of all the different battle mechs and infantry and battle armor and blah blah blah. But you can create your own stuff. That's the thing with this game, and they've got it in the basic rulebook. Wait for it. Yeah, they do. They've got it in the basic rulebook on how to create your own miniatures. Like, sorry, not miniatures, your own battle mechs from scratch. So you can start with a tonnage. Say you want to build like, I don't know, a 50-ton mech, which is like a medium, falls in the medium weight category, and then you go, right, I'm going to set you know, this needs to be within 2,000 battle value, because everything's got a battle value, you know, it's like points cost. And you can build your mech from the ground up. You can give it armor, different kinds of armor. You can, you know, don't get me wrong, it's an advanced rule, it's a bit more complicated, but it's great. It's freaking great, because you can pitch up with anything you want. You know, when I talked about that fucking underwater trident wielding freakazoid mutant frickin' thing, you can build that. That wasn't an exaggeration. You can build that in this game. Like, you can build that mech, okay? You can do whatever you want. It's great. Like, you know, you pitch up to a game with your buddy, and you just never know. You never know what the hell he's going to pitch up with. There's no way of covering the same ground in this game. It's impossible. You could play this game your whole life and not cover the same ground. It's not going to happen. A heavy-duty pile driver. Yes. So anyway, so they give you all this extra kit and stuff in the combat section, and then they go through there's a small section on heat. So heat build-up in this game is a fairly big thing. So whenever you use a weapon, it generates heat, so firing stuff gets hot, right? So mechs, and this ties in with the whole like lost tech thing, because remember I said in the Succession Wars, like, they lost a lot of technology, so it's a real mix. So like, mechs are advanced in one aspect, and they're mechs, but in the other aspect, a lot of their weapons seem quite primitive. Like, they've just got essentially tank cannons, you know, tank cannon rather, and big chainsaws. Like, it's a real mix. It's like, doesn't make any sense, and that like ties into the whole heat thing. Like, they can't dissipate heat properly. They like half building these mechs, half advanced, half very primitive. So one of the big problems is heat. So heat can like really mess your mechs up if you don't. So just going balls out every turn, just firing all your weapons every single turn, you're going to overheat, and you can actually kill your pilot. Like, you can cook your pilot. Okay. So then they go into like a section of buildings. They got everything on buildings, like how to destroy buildings, hiding infantry or battle armor in buildings. They've got combat vehicles, which is naturally like your VTOLs, and combat infantry vehicles, support vehicles, infantry, my favourite. I love infantry, they're freaking mega, and how infantry can attack mechs, like leg attacks. And one of the cool things is actually with battle mechs, you could, infantry and battle armor, or battle armor primarily, can actually ride your mech into battle. They have to be omni-mechs, and an omni-mech is just a variant of battle mechs, pretty much the same thing. So battle armor troops can latch onto the outside of a battle mech and ride into battle. It's freaking cool, because actually what it does is you can dismount, but it gives your mech extra armor. So it's like, as he's running forward, you've got these little dudes hanging on the outside that are getting like blown off along the way. It's just freaking great. So you can do all sorts of stuff like that, okay? What else? They've got aerospace units. They go into all more of the space stuff again, like especially a dedicated section to that. They've got a section on creating scenarios in here, and map sheets. Yeah, they've got huge assignment tables, like for different forces, because different forces naturally use different mechs. Like they, and like a section at the back, they've got how to paint your stuff, how to paint the miniatures, and then how to assemble them. All the hobby stuff at the back, and then they go into all your so they got all the record sheets. They got everything you need at the back, like all your reference sheets, all your record sheets for all your weapons. Look, weapons tables. They're coming out your frickin' ass. Movement costs, cluster hits. They got everything. Everything is summarized. So like, you know, if you learn this rulebook, they summarize everything into all these pages. You don't even need to look stuff up, okay? So I've waffled on enough about this book, okay? If you're a wargamer, and you're interested in all games, not just like one game, like some people are, you need to own this book. It's really good. You've got, I'm not going to go through these because I'll be here all day getting excited talking about tridents and stuff, but you've got, like, it's called Total Warfare. That's like the basic one. Basic, geez, it's got loads in it. And it's cheap, it's like 30 quid or something. Then you've got the expansion books, like I bought them, being a setter. You've got the tech manual. This is all about building your own stuff. Woo! Yes! It's all about building your own stuff. And they got like tactical operations, which is like more advanced rules, like entrenching infantry. And fucking ambushes, man. Ambushes! They got it in here! This won an award. Look. Because it's that good. So they got all this extra stuff. But really, you can't go wrong with just the basic rulebook. If you buy this, you will be... Your freaking head will explode. It's great. You need to own this. I like Battletech. It excites me. Okay? Take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Post comments below as always. And yeah, take care.